Did you see this? This is a story that's going on in the States right now, and not just with this one guy, but this guy, I think, is from Maryland, and he entered the United States illegally in 2011, but he was undergoing the immigration process, and a court order was done, I think, in like 2019 or in some immigration court, and they said that yes, he would be allowed to stay because if he went back to El Salvador, he would be targeted by criminal gangs. So, I don't know if that means, right? So, apparently he got rounded up not too long ago by ICE or whatever those people are called in the United States, like the immigration customs people. Anyhow, and they sent him to El Salvador. You know, those things that you've seen on TV where they dress everybody up in their white jumpsuit and shave their heads and stick them on a plane. And then, when they get to that supermax prison kind of in El Salvador with all those like really violent criminals, they like force them to like be bent over in shackles and stuff and put them in that big, room with all those criminals with the tattoo. That he got sent there. I don't know if you needed that big description, but this is just some guy who like is an actual like refugee who ran away from being targeted by a criminal gang years ago. And now the United States has deported him to there. And what's worse is that a court said that Donald Trump and his administration should be facilitating the return of this guy. Well, Donald Trump met with the president of El Salvador today. There they are. And apparently, they don't want to bring this man back, even though they made a mistake by rounding him up. I don't know why. I think maybe he had a tattoo or something like that, because they say that some people with like crown tattoos are related to like gangs and stuff or whatever. But anyhow, they don't want to bring him back to the United States, even though a court says that they should be facilitating him coming back to the United States. So this is kind of outrageous. And then I think in this news conference, he said, I'm not opposed to deporting homegrown criminals too. So if you're a criminal, I'm not saying that, I'm not like advocating for criminals, but if you ever make a mistake and go to jail and you're like a hardened criminal or something like that, he wants to be able to deport Americans. That is pretty shocking. And then the president of El Salvador, because they had this deal where they could send criminals from the United States who were being deported from any country to go to El Salvador. He's like, oh, why should we bring him back? Him too. It's just so crazy that these random people have control over people's lives, that they're just like, okay, we'll just leave him in that prison in El Salvador. Don't you think that's crazy? In that prison, in that giant cell that you remember seeing on CNN, they're leaving that guy. Even though his family's in the US, and I'm sure they're advocating for him too, and even though a court said they made a mistake, they're not attempting. So I'm sure that in the next couple of months, there's going to be some sort of court battle between the courts and the United States, like the government, to see if they can force them to bring him back to safety. What do you think about this?